Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sibyl. If you're tuning in for the first time, and you're welcome to my channel, and for those who've always been here with me, thank you for being here. It is always a pleasure to have you. Today's video, I'll be answering the questions I saw in my comment section. One was from, I got two questions from Isaac, I think that's his name. I got two questions from him, and the other was from a lady. I'm going to put their names on the screen so you all can see them, because I didn't take a screenshot of their questions, so I'll put their names on the screen. So you guys, I'm excited to do this video today. I wasn't going to do a video today, but then I got a gift, an amazing gift. I'm loving this backdrop, you all see. So the other day I went to the market to get a backdrop because I just felt like my backdrop, I need to get something to spice up my videos and stuff. And then I got the backdrop actually, and I came and it was not good. It was small, it was not doing anything that I wanted it to be. And then before I knew it, in the morning, no, it was actually in the evening, my boss came and said he had a piece in his house that he's not using, he wanted to give it out. And then he's like, okay, I think this is going to help for your videos. I was like, oh my god, I went crazy yesterday because the backdrop looks so natural. If I don't tell you that I'm using a backdrop, you actually think that I'm sitting in a forest. I'm actually talking and looking at it right now. I absolutely love this backdrop. That is what you get when you have amazing people around you, and I'm so thankful that I am having an amazing family to work with. They are the most amazing people. I just love being here. It is amazing being here because my bosses, they are so supportive. They are so supportive. Thank you very much. I don't know if they're watching, but they know I'm on YouTube, and they are so supportive of me being on YouTube. So I always tell you guys that I've never had a bad experience with anybody, because everywhere I go, I'm always lucky to be in an amazing place. I always meet amazing people. This is a local family, and I'm treated like one of them. When you get to the house, you don't know if I'm a staff or not. I just get treated like I am one of them. I am so happy. Let's get into the video. So you guys, I think Isaac was asking that what are the questions they should ask to the travel agents when they want to travel to UAE, because I did a video talking about people being careful of travel agents, because when they take people to UAE, they don't really explain what their job is. They just take them, they bring their hair, and they give them whatever they feel that they have to do. So he came and was asking me that what are some of the questions they should ask to their travel agents to know that they are on the safe side. The thing is, having a travel agent, the kind of travel agents I'm talking about is when someone comes and tell you that, okay, do a passport, I'll give you a visa, I'll give you a flight to come to UAE. Those are the kind of travel agents I'm talking about, because actually these travel agents, they go to countries and say, oh, it might be someone that you know, right? It's not necessarily going to be an agency. It might be someone that you know. A travel agent doesn't really mean that you're going to an agency for them to do it for you, or you look for your own money, you go and someone processes your visa. It can be like that, but most of the time it might be someone that you know, or someone that knows this place properly. When they come, they see you, they'll tell you, okay, if you have a passport, I'll give you a visa, I'll give you a flight. When you come here, I'll give you an accommodation, I'll give you feeding and stuff. When someone tells you something like that, you have to be careful. Nothing good comes easy. When you see, not all that glitters is gold. Unless you know this person very well, and even if you know that person very well, you still have to be careful. Because some people bring their family members here and they still treat them like they are outsiders. Being in this country is not a bed of roses. It's not easy. Someone will bring you here and put you into situations that you're going to regret traveling. So if you have someone who comes to you and tell you, okay, if you have your passport, or the person just comes to you and say, I'll process your passport, I'll give you a visa, I'll give you a flight to come here, there are questions you need to ask them. I'm glad Isaac asked this question. There are questions you need to ask him. When I get over there, what is waiting for me over there? What kind of job do you think that I will do when I get there? Am I going to be on my own? Am I going to be working under you? What do you think? Because if it's not your brother or sister doing this for you, don't ever think that someone is going to do that for just nothing. If it's not your brother or sister doing this for you, because your brother or sister can come and say, okay, I'll put you a visa, I'll put you a flight, that is a family something, right? But friends and other friends or extended family people coming to you to take you outside, not only to UAE, to any other country, because they take people to US and still treat them like that. They take people to Canada, treat them like that. To Europe, treat them like that. Someone will take you and go with you to a foreign land because you don't know your way out, you don't know where you're going, you cannot run or you cannot do certain things. They will treat you like that. Just ask them, what do you think I'm going to do when I get to this place? What are the kind of jobs I will do when I get there? It's very important to ask them questions for your own safety. Ask them, when I get here, what am I going to do? Am I going to stay with you? Am I going to stay with any other person? Are they going to take my passport? Do you think that I'll be safe when I get there? Give your contact. Take their contacts and give to people so that they can contact them. Make sure you introduce that person. Again, I'm insisting because I know what is going on out here. Make sure you let 2 or 3 persons know that this is the person that took you out. Because some come and they do it in secret, and because you know your family is out there, you don't even know if they're safe, you don't know if they're dead, if they're still living, if they'll ever come back to you. Don't be excited to travel. It is good to travel. For me, when I was traveling the first time, I don't think I was excited. I was having mixed feelings because I didn't know what was waiting for me out there. I didn't have someone. I was coming on an adventure. I didn't know if I was going to succeed. With the stories that I heard about UAE, I was a little scared. Nothing exciting. I wasn't excited. I was leaving my family. I was leaving people that I love behind. I was going to a no man's land. I don't know anybody there where I was going to stay and stuff. Although I already knew that people were waiting for me because my journey was well planned, right? I always tell you people, my uncle did all of this for me, and when I came, it was actually good for me. But then when I got here, I was looking at people. I'm like, oh my God, I'm very lucky. I am so lucky to have this person too. Take his time and plan my journey, and it was a success. I'm still very grateful for what he did to me and my family. So when you're done asking these questions, if you feel like the person doesn't really want to tell you the right thing, it's better for you to stay with your family. Do not travel if you feel that your safety is not guaranteed. Stay with your family and be good. Don't travel and come out here and it be a different story. It's not worth losing your life. It's not worth losing something important from your life because you wanted to travel. Stay in your country. I will always tell people this thing. You must not travel. The second question he asked was if he will stay in a hotel when he travels to UAE for work, or he is going to stay in another place. Well, staying in UAE, having an accommodation in UAE depends on who did your visa. But if you're coming to UAE as a job seeker, the hotel is not really an ideal place for you, because staying in a hotel in UAE is very expensive as a job seeker, unless you really have that money. Like those who travel from the US, they actually have houses that they stay here. They go for like, I don't know, like a studio. They get a studio and they stay inside. So if you're coming when you don't really have money, you can go and look for a bed space, or you look for a partition. A partition is when they take a room and they make it into smaller rooms for people to stay in. And a bed space is when they take a room and they put like beds inside. They can put 3 or 4 beds, like bunk beds, right? And people will take the beds and they stay and they pay monthly. So if you're coming to UAE, make sure you ask your agent. Again, it all depends on the agent. Am I going to stay in a bed space? Am I going to stay in a partition? Am I going to stay in a studio? It all depends on all of that. If you have your money, go for the studio. If you don't have the money, go for a partition. If you don't really have money, then you go for the bed space, because the bed space is the cheapest form of accommodation in UAE. It's very cheap. 400, 500, 600, you can get a bed space. Partition is from 1,000. Some will give for 800. I've never seen, it's rare to find, but some will give for 800. But just think that partitions should be like from 1,000, and then the studio you can get it for 1,500. It depends on the area that you get it. In Dubai, it's expensive. In Sharjah, it's a little bit not expensive. In Abu Dhabi, Al Ain, you can get a good place there for very cheap prices, right? So it depends on the area where you're staying. When you're coming to UAE, you have to plan your journey. Plan it in a way that when you get here, it's going to be stress-free, right? Because what people don't tell you is there are things in UAE that you can do that will make your journey a beautiful one. They should give you all this information because you're going to a strange land. You're gonna be traveling for the first time and you come and stay in a hotel. I had one lady contact me She contacted me when I was still back in my country, right? She was to travel to UAE, and when she got here, we were actually talking, and she wrote to me on Facebook. I was telling me that she'll be traveling in a few days. I was like, okay, you have a safe trip. And then she was asking me what she would do before she travels to UAE, if there's anything she needs to know. I gave her all the advice that I could, right? And then when she got to UAE, she called me after 2 days and told me that she was living in a hotel and it's expensive. She doesn't know how she's going to cope with living in a hotel. So I was like, how can your travel agent does your visa, your flight and everything, and they don't tell you that when you come here, or they don't contact someone to keep a bed space for you or to look for a bed space for you? Because it's easy. When you're staying in a bed space, you spend less, right? Even though it's not very comfortable, but then you're a job seeker, is your comfort at that point doesn't really matter. What matters is you getting a job and moving out of that place for you to have a more comfortable life. Because if you're coming to UAE and you're looking at your comfort first, I think it's going to be very difficult for you. Those are the things you should ask. Where am I going to stay? Where am I going to be? What am I supposed to do when I get there? Is there something I need before I travel? And all of that. Make sure you have full information about your travel before you travel. If not, when you get here, it's going to be extremely hard for you. It's going to be hard. Isaac, I hope I've answered your questions, because this is the best I can tell you. If you need more information, you can always contact me on Facebook for more information, or Instagram, or TikTok. You can send me an email. My links will be in the description box below. And then for Sandra, she was telling me that she wants to travel to UAE for, she just wants to buy certain things and sell back in her country. Means she's coming like a tourist, right? So if you're traveling to UAE, because I did a video about the amount you're supposed to pay for your visit visa, your tourist visa, and your residence visa, I wanted to know if she would spend the same money as a visit visa, as on a visit visa. So Sandra, when you're traveling to UAE to buy, if you're not traveling here for work, you're traveling just to buy and go back, you should go for a tourist visa. A tourist visa is very cheap. It is from 75,000 francs CFA, because she says she's from Cameroon. Someone said I should convert this money to I should convert the money to dollars, and I see that it's okay, but the next time I will be doing a video, I'll convert the money to dollars. A tourist visa is 75,000 CFA, Sandra, but someone can do it for you for 100,000, some 150. It depends on the agent that processes the visa. It's not that expensive. So what is going to be more expensive now is going to be your flight. Your flight can be like 300, 350. It can be even up to 500. What really takes money a lot during traveling to UAE is your flight, because the visa is cheap. It is very cheap to have a UAE visa. The problem now is your flight and your accommodation. You can spend more than the money I talked about in the video. You can spend more than that, because when you pay your flight, you come to UAE. If you don't have a family home that you're going to stay when you get here, that you have to go and rent a hotel, or you want to go and rent your own place to stay to do your buying and stuff, you can spend a lot of money, right? But if you have someone that you're coming to stay with, then your expenses will be less. It will not be as much as I mentioned in the video, because in that video I was explaining what you need for your visa, your flight, your accommodation when you get here, and the extra money you need to stay for 3 months before you get a job, or within the period before you get a job, right? So if you're coming here to buy, you need a tourist visa. If you have someone to stay with, then it's okay. If you don't have someone, you're going to be in a hotel, and then your flight might be expensive, it might be cheap. So it all depends on all of this. You're not going to spend that much money. I hope I've answered your question. You need to connect with me. You can always check me on Facebook. My Facebook is Here From Sibyl. My Instagram is Hossein_Sibyl, and I'm on TikTok as Here From Sibyl. If you want to send me an email, my email is hossein@gmail.com. I'll put the links in the description box below. You can click to connect with me. If I don't answer your question in the comment section on time, you can check me on any of the social medias, because I'll be answering questions from there. And if I'm delaying to answer your questions, means I'm a little bit busy, because I have a day job. Aside from YouTube, I have a day job. Some days I get home and I'm tired. You all know that I post daily, so it takes a lot of time for me to see your questions sometimes, because sometimes I'm like going online to reply to the questions. Before you know it, I'm already tired, I'm sleeping. The next day I wake up, I have to go to work. I come back from work and then I have to continue and stuff, so it's a little much. So just forgive me if I don't answer your question on time. Okay, thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment in the comment section, let me know your thought, and don't forget to share this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Make sure you subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos, because I post daily. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye bye, take care of yourself.